Welcome to the Connected Spirit Podcast, a space where the mystical and the human experience merge, where we explore what it really means to walk a spirit-led path. I'm Courtney Dawson, an ethical medium and mentor, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt the presence of the spirit world. But my journey hasn't been simple. It's been one of self-discovery, healing from religious and emotional trauma, navigating fear, judgment, and the loneliness that comes with embracing something the world doesn't always understand. This podcast is here to take what was once considered woo and bring it into the real lived experience of being human. Because mediumship isn't just something we do, it's who we are. Here we dive into the conversations no one else is having, breaking down misconceptions, exploring the unseen, and normalizing the journey of deep connection. We'll talk about the beauty and the struggle of being a medium. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, we'll go deep. And most importantly, we'll remember who we are, why we're here, and how spirit moves through us all. So if you've ever felt something more, if you've ever questioned the unseen, or if you're simply ready to embrace the fullness of your spiritual path, you're in the right place.
I think this is where the disadvantage of being active on social media comes into play, because it really glamorizes the spiritual path. But yet, when you're off camera and you're actually talking to people, they're like, this sucks. This is hard. This is bringing up so much stuff that I need to sort through, that I would rather just blind eye and not even relive, right? And that's why I'm honest with people, because I never had that. I didn't. I felt like I was in a freaking tornado and my whole world was disrupted. And it was.
Okay.
It totally was. I lost friendships. I was having to heal like lots of trauma and then reconcile how certain family members basically disowned me, which is so bizarre to me, because I mean, I've been telling them stuff since I was like 2, 3 years old, and they're like, oh, it's God talking to her. But yet when you say, no, it's actually your dad or your mom, they're like, oh my God, you're talking to demons, all that shit, right? And then that it does screw up with your psyche, and you have to work through it. It's not easy. So like, know what you're going through is totally normal. And the fact that you're like, yeah, I'm having a rough couple days, weeks, months, whatever, like that's also part of it too. But what I will say is, if we anchor into that inner knowing that you are guided and supported every single step of the way, and we really, really are. I believe that within every fiber of my being. I truly, truly do, because I've just had it countless times that I can't ignore that. Then we know this too shall pass. So then what do we do in the meantime till we get there? Well, that's totally up to you, right? And what I'm going to say is that it's normal to go to a certain place in your life, or get to a certain place in your life, and you go, I don't know if this fits with me anymore. I don't know if this aligns with who I am, who I'm becoming. And then we kind of go into a little bit of a identity, existential crises. We're like, what up? You know, I go through that too. I like, you guys are going through that, right? Like, especially leaving the spiritualist church. That was a big one for me too, you know, leaving the Christian church. Sometimes we're leaving not just physical locations, but we're leaving identities behind. We're leaving belief systems that we used to anchor into. There's so much that comes up. And mediumship isn't about causing disruption, but it's really about clearing the space in your mind and in your soul
Norman.
of like getting rid of, clearing the space in your mind and your soul to make room for that which really nourishes you and supports you. And sometimes we adopt rather, modalities, practices, ways of thinking, because other people have embodied it, and what they I'm just totally having a blank, but like eminent, I want to say like emulate, like what they exude. We're like, I want some of that. So if I do that, then I'm going to embody and I'm going to be like that. And that's not necessarily the case. And so what mediumship does is, it is a spiritualization of self. And so it just starts to move the little pieces of your mind, your thoughts, your patterns of behaviors, and go, okay, well, what's actually solid? What's legit? What's aligned? And it reminds me of the scripture in the Bible, And it's about, does a person build their home on a foundation of sand or of concrete, right? And so that's what mediumship does. It goes, okay, well, how solid's your foundation? Can it easily get swept away by the tides of life, or can it withstand the storms? Right? That's what takes place. And it's not all like that either. It's not all like that. Then once we get comfy, our soul goes, okay, we're ready for more. And then the universe responds, and then our human just takes a little bit to catch up. This is the value of having community, because you realize, oh, okay, I'm not losing the plot. I'm not gone mad. There's other people that are going through the same stuff as me. And as I'm listening to you ladies, this makes sense why the spirit world gave me your meditation today when I was walking this morning. I'm just like, I love that. The intelligence of them blows me away. I love it. Okay, thank you. So what the spirit world is talking about, and it ties into what we're conversating about, is that, and they're showing me an image, like where many of us are feeling right now. And if we're not there, I'm sure you can relate to where this analogy is coming from. So there'll be moments where there's highs, lows, and everything in between. We're rocking our spiritual practice. We're clear, we're connected, we're bringing through the evidence. It's spot on. Everyone gets it. And then there's moments where we feel like we struggle and we question why I'm doing X, Y, and Z, one, two, three. What's the deal? What is happening? And then it causes frustration, and it causes contemplation about, am I actually meant to do this? Am I meant to be here? And the spirit world says, surely you trust yourself by now, friend. Surely you trust that all of the steps of your path have been divinely ordained to bring you, to lead you to where you are now. In hindsight, in reflection, you can see how the power of spirit has moved you like a wave, lifting you up like the top of the tidal wave and bringing you down safely on the shores. But you forget that what once was up here in the storms of life also brought you back to safety, into calm, into security. But yet, when you're so focused on the height of the wave and in the middle of the storm, you neglect to realize that there is something beyond this. There is a shoreline, there is a horizon, there is light, there are rainbows that come after this moment in time. So it is a choice where you choose to allow your mind, your attention, your energy to flow to. They're also showing me a image of like a set of feet and a pair of boots. And this person is walking on the ground, but the ground is very muddy and the boots are stuck in the ground. And Spirit is saying here, some of you are trying to walk forward thinking those boots are meant to carry you next. All you need to do is actually slip your feet out of those boots and carry on, because dry ground is just beyond where those boots have sunk. So the analogy is here, and what they're saying so beautifully is that we have choices in every step. We are very conscious about, or we have these moments where we're very conscious about what is taking place, but yet we lack the attention to focus on what are we wanting to create, what are we wanting to experience, what are we wanting to fulfill, as opposed to what is not working. And I can hear them say, the mind is the battlefield. Your struggles are won and lost here before they ever end up in your physical world. Surely there is nothing in vain when you shed tears. Surely there is nothing in vain in the heartache that you've experienced. Surely your thoughts can rise above what feels heavy and weak and move past that. Yeah, okay. Sorry, they're kind of just being a little bit philosophical today. Why? I don't know, but I'm just going to trust it. I'm just going to close my eyes for a second and then tell them we got to get back to circle. You must not be disheartened by the heaviness that weighs on you right now. You must let your mind lift higher and lift up your hearts to the light. The light is an extension of you that is so infinitely connected to the source, to the power that flows through all life. It nourishes you, your soul, your cells, your spirit. But when you are so focused on your human life, your physical experiences, you fail to remember that light and that connection. This truth, this knowledge is not just for you, those that join services on Sundays, for when you choose to pick up a book and have a hit of inspiration. It is the well of knowledge that all souls have and ultimately also seek at some level. Because when things feel dry and barren in your life, all you have to do is lower the bucket into the presence of your soul, the vibration that flows through all life. And as you pull that bucket up, moving it up higher and higher until you can see it, you can see that pure water, untainted by anything. And as you allow it to quench your thirst, to fill your soul, there is a renewal. And today we speak to that renewal within you because many of you are feeling weary. Many of you are feeling like giving up, quitting, taking the high road. But that is opposite of why your soul came here. It came to seek truth, a truth that only you know. When you seek versions of other people's truth, you become misguided. And that is why you find yourselves disheartened, confused, and lost. And the message is clear. What source will you allow to nourish your soul? What will you allow to filter through the mind? What impressions will you allow to be absorbed within your energy and within your field of power? Forgetting not about what you've gone through, but much of what you carry doesn't serve you today, tomorrow, and the years that follow. Surely you know that. Surely your human self knows that. So we pose the question to you, why do you hold on to that which is heavy and dense and painful, that causes turmoil repeatedly in your life? Open your mind and hearts to these words, friends, and allow them to melt any blockages, any fears, any feelings of not belonging, and allow it to be replaced by unconditional love because it is true. That is what you are. So may we find ourselves together again, nourished and enriched in all levels. Peace be yours today, tomorrow, and always. And with our love, we leave you this.
The Connected Spirit isn't just a podcast, it's a remembering of who we are, a remembering of our connection to spirit, and a remembering that we are never walking this path alone. Mediumship isn't just about speaking with spirits. It's about deepening the connection to our own spirit, to one another, and to the energy that moves through everything. So as you leave this space, ask yourself, what part of this conversation stirred something within you? What connection is spirit inviting you to strengthen? If this episode spoke to you, please share it, leave a review, and connect with me on Instagram at Medium Courtney Dawson or visit my website at mediumcourtneydawson.com. Your presence in this community matters because connection isn't just about what we seek, it's what we are. Until next time, trust your spirit, trust the unseen world, and trust that you are always, always connected.